Give an IT Martini welcome to Russ Taddiken. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, so I want to do a level set on compellant and infrastructure and what you've all been looking at for the past day. When you think about agility, really, we are an enabling technology in an agile environment. So if you think about what you're doing, whether you're coding or whether you're taking existing applications and trying to create an environment where you have this ability to change on the fly, to move resource where you need resource, when you need resource, and the ability to keep all of that up and running, there's one important piece that a lot of people don't think about. And that's, where is your data going to land? And how do you access that data, even beyond the fact of having a central point of landing? How you view your environment today and what it brings in to how you approach your business model. And maybe you can just get into that just a little bit.
Absolutely. It was a challenge for us from an infrastructure perspective to keep up with an agile development shop. Our application folks were moving fast and furious, and us having the capability to, not only in our production but our pre-production environment, move seamlessly with them was a challenge for us. There was every corner we turned, there was a need for more storage or more servers, and we weren't able to scale as fast as they needed to deliver the business value from the applications. So we were looking for solutions that could help the infrastructure keep up with the app dev folks. What we did and what we embarked on, I've been there approximately a year, is what I call radical virtualization. And I consider Compellant part of that virtual environment. And what Compellant's allowed us to do is, I don't have a large staff. Being a government organization, I have approximately 4 people to take care of all my infrastructure. I didn't have the luxury of dedicating any 1 or 2 individuals to SAN. I was able to take one person, send them to training, and we were able to get up and running on a Compellant SAN in a matter of 2 weeks.
The Compellant has allowed us to take a junior engineer and turn him into our storage engineer, more or less overnight. It does allow us to, turn things around with server virtualization as well for the business very, very quickly. We actually, one of the huge benefits for us is we did our initial purchase about a year and a half ago, and then we actually doubled the size of the SAN. We didn't buy anything except more SATA disks. So we found that our Tier 1 and Tier 2 were sized right. We have a lot of stagnant data, like probably everybody does, probably 75–80%. So we just added more of the most inexpensive disks we could buy, kept it in the same infrastructure. It was up and running within the same week that we bought it.
When you look at your infrastructure, and whether it's from the server point of view or whether it's from the storage point of view, how do you view that ability to deal with virtualization as part of the ability to create an environment where you have that change on the fly capability?
We designed from the start is we wanted to have a primary and a redundant data center. Usually that's a luxury. Usually it's very expensive. As well as we wanted a system that could scale. We weren't going to just put in a few virtual servers and then stop there. It was going to grow. It was going to be virtual desktop. We knew that our mail system was going to grow significantly, since right now the only regulations we have for the state of Ohio is to save everything forever. And Compellant was able to scale with us and reduce that complexity such that we could accomplish our mission in a very short time frame. We have 2 data centers now. I have a Compellant SAN at each location. I'm doing replication between them. I have SRM going between them from a recovery. I'm 3 weeks away from having a hot and a redundant data center in a matter of only months.
How do you deal with change on a day-to-day basis? Talk a little bit about how you might go through the process of upgrading your server environment without impacting the accessibility of data.
It's almost an instantaneous process now. Now everything's on the fly. You spin up a new virtual server, assign it another LUN, and do a reverse replay. and you've done your migration.
What's your application environment? What databases do you run? What industries are you in? Did you cover that?
The question was what applications, databases, industry. So we actually run our Oracle. We have 6 different ERP systems in my company right now. We've grown through acquisition, and we've acquired actually 11 different ERP systems, so we're down to 6 now. We also run our SharePoint environment and a portion of our Exchange environment there as well.
We're primarily a Microsoft shop. Today, we're responsible, the DODD is responsible for processing over $1 billion worth of payments to other counties and facilities that take care of the citizens of Ohio.
With having an agile development team that have, you mentioned before with scalability issues, how do you plan for that going into the projects to make sure that you have the ability to get those resources or have the budget for those resources?
I try to anticipate what they're going to need. I've scaled my environment to the point where I can easily add more servers and more storage. I mean, that's the beauty of Compellent for us and the SAN, the way it works. Adding another shelf or even adding more fiber channel or SATA drives, whatever I need, really is hot. I mean, it's purely hot pluggable, how I put them in there, how they integrate in the environment.
It probably takes longer to build the virtual server than it does to provision the storage. For us, it really helps with things like upgrades, testing. We're getting ready to go to Exchange 2010, SharePoint 2010, things like that. And we spin up servers and run tests in the same afternoon.
Have either of you gentlemen changed your workflow environments to utilize some of the features that you talked about, like making copies of data, sharing them for data warehousing, things like that?
Compellent's allowed us, as we've starting this development environment, to easily copy, migrate data between environments.
How did you make your transition to an agile, and in this case, infrastructure?
So that's a good question. When you start to understand all the things that you can do, when you start, you make that first crack in the ice, everybody jumps in and you're already in the water and you're like, this is the best thing ever, and you can't work fast enough to get everything into an environment where the limits are gone.
It required a mental shift for us and for my staff, and to coach them on we can do this and here are the benefits for doing it. But in order to do that, I had to have an environment that had the tools and was an enabler that made them comfortable that they could do it. Because in the past, adding another server, especially when you're physical servers, that's a big deal. It could take days. Now, we have, with our server chassis that we can spin up another VM, attach it, sign it to LUN, and it's easy.
With that, I'm going to say thank you. Hopefully you've gotten a little bit of a feel for what you can do within an infrastructure to create an environment that enables the agility movement. It's an environment that we deliver both from a hardware and a software solution point of view, the Compellent side. So with that, thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.